feeling after yesterday?
Yeah, I came home and went to bed. I was so tired.
Yeah, because it was quite a long workshop, wasn't it?
11. We got out of there just after 5, so and it started at 11. So yeah, it was quite long. But yeah, it was. I don't know. I was just so tired afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So I just came home and went to bed pretty much.
Did you have a good sleep?
Yeah, I did. I slept until like 8 as well this morning. So
Oh, wow.
that's late for me. So.
And so tell me, how was the workshop?
Overall, it was really good.
What was the for? I'm just grabbing some paper. Keep talking. I can hear you. Yeah.
Like there was a couple of parts where I kind of didn't, I guess, enjoy it or get the most out of it. So
what parts were they?
So there was a kind of like a visualization and like movement part. And this was like pre-breath work.
Oh, yeah.
So and like I just couldn't focus in it, like, because it was all like, oh, you've got, you're trying to imagine like a body of light coming up like through the top of your head and then all the way down. And I just couldn't visualize it at all, and I was just kind of like ended up just like standing, because everyone had like their eyes closed and stuff, and I ended up just like standing there, and I was just like, oh, okay. And that was like the only part I didn't really enjoy. So otherwise all of the other bits were really good. And then the breathwork stuff was really intense, like really intense. I just started bawling my eyes out.
Amazing. And that was a mini breath work. Like, imagine, that was like, I'm pretty sure she said she didn't, it was like quite a mini session as opposed to what she normally does.
A lot, like she said, it wasn't as I guess intense. Like she said, it was like a sort of, I don't know, mellow introduction to it, so it wasn't too but it went for like 30 full minutes, and then we did like a 15-minute kind of like wind down at the end. And I reckon I probably cried for about 20 minutes of the 30 minutes.
Amazing.
So it was like she came over and touched me, and then so I was like holding it in, and she was like, don't, at the beginning she's like, don't try and like put up any resilience or anything, like if your body wants to move. And like that part was fine, like I was kind of like, moving wherever I wanted. But as soon as she came over and touched me, I just bawled my eyes out. It was so weird. But like I don't know if it's necessarily like realizations, but I like some of the stuff I already knew. But it's sort of.
Is that you?
Is that me or you?
Oh, no. I'll just it's just my. Okay, I'm just turning it. Yeah,
that was me. But it sort of like opened up a bit of emotions in me, which was good, because I haven't. I think I told you last time. I said I haven't really cried in. I don't know the last time I've cried, like had a decent cry. And
you did say that. You said a couple of years.
Yeah, it would be that. And I'm not, and it sort of just instilled a bit of things like within me. Like I think I cried the most because it sort of was like when she touched me, I was like, I haven't had someone touch me like that in however long either. And it sort of was just like my instant thought was like, I'm so alone. Like I don't want to be lonely. And like just the physical touch of another human in that way, it's not just like a general, oh, hey, how are you? Give you a hug. Like, like it was on a more intimate level. And even just that, it was sort of just like, oh, I'm so alone. Like I don't have anyone around me to do that. And then I was going through all these things of like, well, why am I alone? And it's like, well, and I like woke up this morning because I was so like I got home last night and just crashed. And then I woke up this morning and I was still like kind of contemplating things from yesterday. And I was like, I've come to the realization that I'm alone because I've put myself into that situation. Like, it's almost probably my biggest self-sabotage that I've done to myself is I've put myself into this isolated bubble where it's almost like a punishment. Like, because I'm like, you know, I don't want to date anyone because I don't like love myself, and I don't expect someone to love me when I don't love myself. And then, you know, I'm not physically, you know, healthy. I don't feel great. Like, why would I want to date someone when I'm not in that mindset? Or why would I want to make friends when I'm not in that mindset? And like, it's like I've just drilled it down to the point that I've put myself into this almost like self-punishment state of, I don't deserve, you know, other people around me. So, you know, it's like, that's where I am. Like, it's my own fault, obviously, but the reason I'm alone is because I've put myself in that situation. Like, I don't have to be alone, but it's because I've just, you know, and it's been a couple of years that I haven't you know, like had a decent socialized environment around me, like, or, you know, haven't been intimate with another human for, I don't know, probably over a year. I'm trying to think of the last time, and it was like, you know, it wasn't even that great. So do I count that? Like, you know, it's like, so yeah, it just sort of brought up a few things like yesterday with, and the other thing that was big that came up was going back through relationships and like my parents. So it was like when I was doing the breath work yesterday, it was like before I had the alone, like I'm lonely part, and it was kind of like before, and then at the end I felt like my mum in particular was never really an affectionate person, and like my parents' relationship in particular was never, like, they were never affectionate in front of us. Like, they were never affectionate together in front of us as kids. Like, it was always a private thing. Like, I'm not saying that they, you know, they probably were in private, but, you know, they would never hold hands. They'd never like do anything. 9 times out of 10 when they talked to each other, they yelled at each other. And I like
my upbringing.
Yeah. Like, and I realized this a few years back when like I came to the end of like my last, I guess, serious long-term relationship was, you know, I would sabotage my own relationships because I didn't know any better. Because when I grew up, I thought in order to have a relationship, you needed to yell and make arguments and do all that sort of stuff. And, you know, and I would do that. And then, you know, I've already come, like, that was a few years ago. Like, I know that, and like, I know how to deal with that now. But, you know, it came down to yesterday, like, well, my mum was never really like affectionate in a way of like, yeah, she may like hug and kiss us as kids, but she would never like sit down and like have decent time with us, or like, you know, she would always go, oh, you shouldn't wear that, or you know, don't dress, you know, don't do that, or, you know, it was always a negative comment about something towards me. Not necessarily like my brother, but like it was always directed at me, I think because I was the older one. And I kind of was like, yesterday I was like, well, I kind of missed that. Like, I don't have a good relationship with my mum. My dad, on the other hand, like, we get along like bricks and mortar because we're just as dry as each other and sort of, you know, like no bullshit, whatever. And he was always the person I went to when I had trouble. Like, I'd never go to mum. Like, you know, I called him up one time and I was in like a pretty bad place, and he actually flew over here and like helped me sort out that situation. And, you know, like, we're strong like that, but even he's not an affectionate person. Like, he doesn't show emotion, and that was his own upbringing was very like, you know, they were poor and didn't even have shoes and all that sort of stuff, and his mum and dad were very like hard. So I don't, yeah, so like, and I was like, well, maybe I'm not an affectionate person, like how do I know I'm not that person? Like, and I was trying to figure it out. Obviously in one session is probably not a good long enough time.
I had so many things going through my
yeah,
head.
I know.
Like,
sorry, I'm like rambling on, but it was just
no. I'm just like there's a
it was
lot.
like
There's a lot.
Yesterday, it was just honestly like it went from like a why am I here? Have I joined a cult? Like all this sort of stuff. And then like the lady I was sitting next to, it was so, and that was the other thing is the lady I was sitting next to, her and me were like on the same brain level because we had like this one-on-one session with each other where we asked each other these like set questions and stuff. And we were both like, oh my God, that's me too. Oh my God, that's me too.
Well, there's no surprises that happens. Yeah.
No. And, you know, and after the movement session before the breath work, because we were both like, oh, what, like, never done this before.
Yeah, I can
we both looked at each other.
In your head, am I doing it right? Oh my God, I'm not visualizing the light right, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, and we both looked at each other and she just turned to me and she's like, for a good 5 minutes there, I thought I joined a cult. And I was like, oh my God, me too. Like we both just had the same thing. And she's like, but we're good, right? I was like, yeah, we're good. And it was just really funny that I was paired up with that same person. And it was good at the same time because she came alone, I went alone. And I think, up until that kind of connection point with her, I was a bit like hold back, didn't really say anything. You know, in the introduction where we had to introduce each other, like ourselves, I was like very like, my name's Thea, I'm here for XYZ, move on. Like it was very cut and dry. And then by the end it was like all these like lights came on and I was like, oh, this and this and this and this and this. And so I think there was definitely parts of the workshop I would really like to do again, and then there's obviously parts that they didn't really interest me or I didn't really connect with it, so I'd probably not necessarily not do it again, but maybe not focus on that as a major thing if I did another workshop. Like the essential oils part was cool, but like, you know, I already have doTERRA stuff at home, so it was like, I can just do that anyway. But the breathwork stuff, I definitely want to do that again. Like it was amazing. And she was like explaining that, you know, every time you do it, you may not, like I may go do it next time and have like a anger emotion come out, or, you know, I may sit there like stunned and can't move. Like, so that really like interests me too. So I was like, I wonder what would happen next time I did it. Like, you know, and maybe in a different environment, maybe if it's just a one-on-one with someone, or because she's like, oh, it's probably not a good thing to do by yourself because, you know, if you had
so have I shared my own journey with breathwork and how it's been one of the biggest life-changing things for me. So what you did yesterday, I've probably done 25 of them I've done a lot of group, but I've done a lot of private. I've done online and I've done in person. And so it's different every time. Every time I do a session, it's different. One of the biggest things with things like that is really the letting go process. So if you don't fucking give a shit what anyone thinks, you're going to really let go, right? Like, I mean, I scream, I kick, I yell, I cry. I mean, I do all kinds of things in my breath work. And so the reason that breath work is so powerful, and imagine that on like multiply that by 1,000, is because it's a somatic body release. So you cannot control what's going to happen. You go into there and you breathe and then you can't control, right? Because you kind of go to a different dimension, and so you can't control it. You can try and hold back the tears and hold back the crying and the screaming and all of that.
Yeah.
But it can really fast track healing, right? Like I'm talking like trauma, deep healing. Like I've healed a lot of wounds with my father through breath work and relationship stuff, as well as the coaching and the mentoring and that. So it's different because it's a body kind of thing. So I wanted to touch on one thing that I heard you say at the beginning, and it's really important. Like you said, I am alone, right?
Yeah.
And so I'd really like to challenge you on that. Are you really alone? Let's really hone into this. Are you really alone? I've written 3 posts in the last week that you need to read because it's all about this stuff.
Yeah. Like I look at being alone on 2 levels. There's alone as in me being in a loving physical relationship with a partner, and then there's the other side, which is like family, friends, more like casual social stuff. So if I was to say I was alone, it would be the fact that I don't have someone in a physical loving relationship with me as a partner.
But you do. You've got someone. How do we come into this world? Let's talk about this. How do we enter the world?
Alone.
And how do we leave the world?
Alone.
Yeah. So you are always with yourself. You are not alone. You, like, honestly, the relationship you have with yourself is more important than any other relationship outside of you. It's because at the end of the day, you're going to leave alone, right? So you are actually not alone, because you can get everything you need from within, right? Everything. You can get the masculine, you can get the feminine, you can give yourself the love, you can do the self-pleasure, you can do the intimacy. So what I'm hearing a little bit is you're still seeking outside, right? There's still that seeking of, well, I am alone because I don't have the physical relationship and my friends and my family and that. So we can desire things outside of us, of course, because we get to have the human experience. But it's only when we actually give ourselves every single thing that we are seeking outside ourselves will that show up outside the way that we want it. So you're actually not alone. If I have moments when I'm craving a male relationship, I go into my own masculine. Like I literally have conversations with my own masculine. Like my masculine is like almost like a person that it's true. My masculine is like a person that is within me, and my feminine is a feminine. So I actually can have conversations between them. So in theory, yes, you're alone, right? In theory, you're alone, but there's still that seeking outside of yourself going on. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because like one of the things that came up yesterday was like, like I'm not a person that's always like seeked attention, but I feel like because I wasn't given things on an emotional level, like I feel like I have to go get them, if that, like, and that's kind of like what you're describing is like, to me that's like, oh yeah, like I've always had to go and get it. Like it's not ever come to me what I feel like a natural, like just an attraction. Like it's always been something that I've forced to go get or seek, like it. And it I think it's kind of going back into me still being like a bit on the masculine side of like, you know, have to do X, Y, Z to get A, B, C or whatever. Like
So firstly, I'm always going to bring you back home to yourself.
Yeah.
Because that's what honestly a really good mentor does. I'm always going to bring you back home to yourself and the truth. You do not need to fix anything. Yes, we want to work on ourselves. We want to better ourselves. The only thing that you need to do is look at, and I'm going to ask you a few questions that I want you to really think about. The intimacy that you're seeking outside of yourself in a physical relationship, are you giving that to yourself? Be really honest.
No.
The emotional stuff that you're seeking outside, where you want to be told, you want that validation, you want to be told you're amazing or whatever it is, are you giving that to yourself?
No.
So anytime we're thinking that that thing outside ourselves is going to fix us, because I'm sure you've had moments, honestly, where you've gone, well, when I get that relationship, then I'm going to feel this way, or it's going to fixing, and I'm going to do this or that, right?
Yeah.
So, and my journey's been so similar, and this is why I can coach you on this, because I've embodied it. And so whenever we're thinking, oh my God, like how amazing would it be to be waking up in bed on this Sunday with my partner cuddling me and, you know, being intimate.
Yeah.
Am I doing that for myself? Am I lying in bed on a Sunday morning just going, you know what, Thea, you know, you're so beautiful and I love you and I've got you and it's safe, and I'm going to get myself a cup of coffee and feel really beautiful and peaceful in this bed because I don't need anything outside of myself today, but I'm going to welcome it in. And I'm open to a relationship, and I'm open to beautiful friendships and my family, and all of that is a bonus. But we cannot live in that place of when I get this, when I do this, when this person does this, when he, you know, makes me feel loved, when we have sex this way, or, you know, whatever it is. So it's always about, and this is the hardest journey of life. It's easier for you to go out and get a relationship. You could get on Tinder and get a relationship tomorrow. It's probably going to be easier than the work we're doing, let me tell you.
Yeah.
You have chosen me for a reason, because I'm guiding you home. I'm not guiding you outside of yourself. But nor am I saying what you don't want is not valid, because it's valid and you're allowed to desire it. Right? So you're allowed it, you can desire it, you can want all of that, but it's the detachment from it, the detachment from needing it, which is the hard part, right?
Yeah.
And so one thing I want you to do as a task, which I don't know if you've ever done the love language quiz.
No.
Okay, so we'll do that. Because unlike you, and I'll share quickly, I grew up with a family that I knew loved me, and my dad would come here and he would do anything, but there was no I love you. I never heard my father say I love you until the day he passed away this year. It wasn't, our family just wasn't like that. There was no emotional stuff. Like, it was just, and so I was always looking outside of myself for someone to tell me I'm good. Oh my God, you're this, you know, blah, blah, blah. So my top love language, which you'll uncover, is words of affirmation. And so I've got to constantly be giving myself the words of affirmation, right? And so when we don't get what we're seeking from our family, which is our closest relationships, we're going to be seeking it outside of ourselves until we heal the wound. And I wrote a really, really interesting post this week that said, I don't know if you saw it, same shit, different day.
Nah, I wasn't on social media much at all this week, actually.
Well, I wrote a couple of posts which is exactly what you're talking about, but same shit, different day. And basically what I was sharing is if we don't heal our woundings and our belief system and that from a childhood, it's going to keep repeating, but it's going to show up in a different form, in a different mask, right? So that's why it's titled Same Shit, Different Day. It's like the same fucking cycle you're repeating, and it's just telling you you still haven't healed that belief that you're not worthy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's interesting you mention the relationship with your mother, because a lot of it stems from our relationship with our mother and our father. And so we're going to explore this a little bit more with you, because I think it's really important to maybe go back and have a little bit of a understanding of what your relationship is with your mother and with your father, because that's where your patterning started.
Yeah.
That's where your belief system or your wounding or whatever it is that you want to call it started. So
yeah,
this work doesn't need to be fucking big light bulb moments. Like what you got in that breath work is going to change parts of your life. And so, you know how you said you were like all these, you know, transformation is the first step to transforming is what? I feel like a school teacher, but I want to know. The first step to any transformation is, do you know what it is?
No.
Awareness.
Yeah.
That's the first step. Because remember, 3 days ago, you probably didn't have the same awareness that you've got now.
Yeah.
So that's the first step. So we've uncovered, okay, cool. So there's awareness around this, right? There's awareness. Then we can shift it and transmute it and create a new belief system. And so the reason breathwork is powerful is because it goes in, it uncovers the subconscious.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the other thing I just wanted to touch on is the self-sabotage, the self-punishment.
Yeah.
They're pretty harsh. Self-punishment's pretty harsh word.
It felt harsh yesterday though. Like, I think that's why, I think that's what started me to actually get quite emotional yesterday, was the fact that, like, I've put myself into this situation purely because I've been telling myself I don't deserve it, and that I don't deserve it because I'm, you know, not working towards what I want. Like, yeah,
is that really the truth? Let's ask. So
I mean, I am now. I am working like in this moment, and you know, in the last however many sessions we are, I'm definitely moving towards where I want to be. But beforehand, I wasn't. I was just in a continual cycle of like, you know, oh, I don't, you know, I'm like, you know, my health isn't great. Okay, well, let's do something about it. I do something for a couple of days, and then I go, oh, nah, and like I just keep going back and then back and back and back and back. And it's like, and I'm talking about health, but I'm talking about like everything was continually in just this like, you know, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 1, step 2, step 3. And it's just this blatant cycle of, I don't know, like it's just, it's like, I just, like, I know I'm doing it, and there's things even in the last week that I've realized that, oh, you know, I'm doing this because, you know, I'm going to the gym 3 times a week because I need to get fit. And then this week in particular, I didn't go at all because I didn't feel great. I had a super heavy period. I didn't actually enjoy the gym. Like, I came to that realization yesterday that the training that I'm doing, like the circuit training, I actually don't enjoy it. I would rather go do something like yoga and Pilates, where it's, you know, slow, more gentle movement.
I just hear that the feminine's starting to make more of an appearance in your life.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to be going and lifting heavy weights that, you know, I can barely lift over my head, and then I feel like absolute shit afterwards. Like, I don't want to be doing that anymore. And that was one of the things, like, I was like, but I've been forcing myself to do that. And then in the last week, I sabotaged myself. Not really, but it's like, I sabotage myself because I don't enjoy it. And why, like, maybe that's...
what if it wasn't a sabotage, and what if it was just you listening to your body?
I know. And then, like, yesterday I was like, you didn't actually sabotage yourself this week. It was you. Like, yeah, okay, you're having a super bad period and you felt like absolute shit all week, but you were also telling yourself that deep down, I don't enjoy going to that class. I don't actually want to be there. And at the end of it, I don't feel any better than the time I was walking through the door. Like,
and so let's just congratulate you on a couple of things this week, because we all know that you love to not look at the wins. So what I'm hearing this week is you got your ass to that workshop, which was a big, big thing. Mm-hmm. You leaned into everything. You loved some stuff. Great. You had, you from that workshop, obviously you've been opened up to breath work, right? Which feels like it's resonating with you, because it was able to unlock and release some emotions. Mm-hmm. And no one outside of you did that. It was you unlocking your own emotions. You had some wins in your business. Do I remember you had manifested like 2
about that.
in an hour? Oh, really? You uncovered some more beliefs around, your mother and, your emotions, and, it's got you to really start thinking and reflecting on, okay, am I an emotional person? Am I not? Those kind of things. So you're so conditioned, hun, to constantly be seeing those things. Yeah. So it's going to take us time to just get... And I can see your blind spots because I'm your mentor, right? And I can also see them because I was there. And so my own mentors used to see it. So I can see the blind spots going on. So the fact you've got a coach is amazing, because it's creating that awareness for you, right? So it's very easy for us to get caught up in the what's not fucking working, or what I should have done, or what I didn't do. But that creates more self-punishment, and self-punishment really is constructs of the mind. That's what it is. So when you say you've self-punished yourself, you've put yourself imagine yourself putting yourself in a box almost of the mind. Yeah.
And that's how I feel. Like, that's honestly
so that then creates the action of you not taking the steps to get to what you want. Bandit! I'm so sorry. My dog is digging a hole in my sister's couch over there while he's trying to. The dog that woke me up at 4 a.m. this morning. So I get the self-punishment. Yeah. Because I understand sometimes we like, fuck, like I'm the one that's in my own way, like no one else.
Yeah, for sure.
But it starts with the mind, hun. Everything starts with the mind. The mind controls everything. And obviously our subconscious beliefs we need to uncover. And in the post I shared, the way that you know that you've still got these beliefs is what's showing up in your reality. And I made a funny joke about how I thought that I've healed so many things over and over, and then, oh, fuck, it's come back again, but it's in a different form. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like you think you've healed something, and then next thing you know, you attract a friend that is dismissive, avoidant, or you attract a friend that ghosts you, or I don't know, right? Yeah. And so you're like, okay, there's still more work that needs to be peeled back. And so that's how you know how much you've healed your belief system or your wounds, because what you're attracting into your physical vortex is showing you what's going on internally. And so when you said, I'm not, you don't want to date now, it's a smart thing to lean into, because you would probably attract things, but whether you would be attracting what you wanted could be could be the question for us to really uncover.
Yeah.
Because we only attract what we are, what we think, what we believe. We are the creator of everything that's coming into our reality.
Yeah.
And so, people go into victim mode, poor me. Yeah, but you created it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a hard pill to swallow, but once you understand it and you don't judge it, it's becoming an investigator. Like, I am such an investigator. I'm like, oh, that's interesting that happened. Okay, yeah. It's becoming an private investigator in your own world.
Yeah.
Oh my God, amazing. I attracted 3 or 4 sales in my business. What was I doing? Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I really, really encourage you to change your language with the alone thing, because you're really not alone. Like, you are your own best friend. You are not alone. And I know that it can feel like we're alone when we don't have the partner, and we might see our family limited and we don't have a lot of friends, or, we don't feel like we're seeing our friends enough. But when you cultivate everything within, you never feel alone, like, ever. You will make decisions to see people because you want to, not because you're telling yourself you have to. You will enter relationships because you desire them, and it's the icing on the cake, not because you're scared of being alone for the rest of your life. And so the more you work on the relationship with yourself, the more things are going to show up that are going to blow your mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so, yes, feel fucking sad on a Sunday because you're on your own, and feel like shit for 5 minutes and fucking cry and scream and go, I want a partner. Yes. But take yourself on a date. Get out of the house and go to your local cafe. Because in that moment when you're saying, if I just had a partner on this Sunday, I'd feel like this, is the moment you need to change that thought process. Okay, well, is this thought going to bring me magically the man of my dreams in 5 minutes, or am I going to spend the rest of the day wallowing in my misery and ruining our Sunday?
Yeah.
It's such a hard pill to swallow when people don't have what they want, because they want to focus on what they don't have, and it just brings more lack. Yeah. And so they just want to keep talking about it and repeating it in their own mind and repeating it to people. But that is the exact thing that's moving you further away, not closer to what you want or desire. What you desire, right? Because you desire these things.
Yeah.
And so what do you think is going to get you closer to what you want?
I think giving myself those things first. Like, I'm not aiming big here. Like, it's not, I expect I'll have a partner in the next 3 months and we'll be, happy and living together and all that. Like, there's part of me that still doesn't want that, because I know deep down, like, I'm not ready, and I'm not in a space where, like you said, I will be attracting that person that I desire. And, it's happened numerous times in my life where I've been in a toxic relationship because I've attracted a toxic person, because deep down I was a toxic person. Like, and yeah, I don't want that. So I'm not aiming big, but I think there is still a lot of things that I should be giving myself first.
What are they?
Well, like, I don't tell myself that I love myself. Like, that's probably the biggest thing. Like, I don't look at myself and go, oh, you look great today. you know.
So do you give yourself emotional support?
No.
Okay. So start by giving yourself that emotional support. And what it could look like is, because the brain doesn't know the difference between and actually one of my mentors taught me this and it was really powerful. So when I was craving a partner, which I'm very detached from it now because I've done the work, right? Like I literally am so happy within that. It's the icing on the cake. But one thing I learned from one of my coaches about a year ago is when I was really craving it, like I've gone through moments, like I had to think about what I wanted to hear from him and I had to stand in the mirror and say it to myself. I gave myself that emotional support that I was wanting from this partner, because that partner was going to fix everything, right? Apparently it was going to fix everything. And so I had to stand in the mirror and actually say those words to myself. And your brain doesn't know the difference, right?
Yeah.
And so standing in front of the mirror for you, mirror work, then you need to do the mirror work because I saw your face.
Yeah.
Is potentially going to be very confronting and potentially saying you're going to make every excuse under the sun to do. But it's going to be one of the most powerful things you can do because you're having that relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
You're looking in the mirror and you're with someone because you're not alone. You look in the mirror and you're there. It's not like there's no one there when you look in the mirror. And so the mirror work, where you're giving yourself what you are wanting or you feel you need outside of yourself, is going to be extremely powerful for changing your relationship with yourself. And it's going to feel uncomfortable. You're probably going to hate it. You're not going to want to stand there. You know, you might do like 1 or 2 minutes to begin with. And then you might do 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And then eventually, right, you're reprogramming your own self-talk.
Yeah.
And so what I would encourage is 5 minutes of mirror work a day. Just 5 minutes. And if that's uncomfortable, start with a couple.
Yeah. And
when you're doing this mirror work, it's really just, okay, what am I craving right now in my life? Like, what would I love someone to say to me? And saying it to yourself. And so that's just going to slowly start to build more trust with yourself, right? Even if it's 3 minutes a day and then 4 minutes a day and then 5 minutes a day. And the other thing that's really a really important piece of the puzzle is the embodiment of movement for you. It's so important because it gets you out of your head and into your body. And the way that we access our emotions is in our body. That's why the breath work was powerful, because you're not in your mind, you're in your body. And so what could have happened yesterday with the visualization and the shaking, because I know what exercise, you probably just went into your mind too much.
Yeah.
And started overthinking it.
Yeah.
But that's a learned thing for you because you've been doing it so long, right? And you're probably in a room. What are people thinking? Oh my God, this is weird. Are people going to think I'm weird, or the lights and I'm not visualizing it? So accessing your own emotional support, that the support you didn't get from your mother, you didn't get from your father, the support you crave now, because we always crave what we didn't get, right, is in your body. Yoga, Pilates, dance, breath work, you know, and then the mirror work is just really reinforcing that. It's like the mirror work is like a reprogramming of your thoughts. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I feel like that's what I need. Like I feel like that's the step I have to take is to definitely get these thoughts not necessarily out of my head, but like,
oh, they're never going to leave.
No. And I know that it's just like there's a lot more, I guess, negative and not positive thoughts going on in general. Like it's just always a, you know, this, that, whatever. Whereas if I can learn how to flip it and
so that takes time, right?
Yeah.
Mastery of your mind, mastery of your emotions. And so like for me, I'm generally like my cycle will affect that. My periods and my cycle will have an impact on my thought process. But generally, I've kind of, I don't know, I've eradicated a lot of those thought processes from doing the work for so long. I think that's what I say.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of uncovering going on with the work we're doing. And so it is going to take a bit of time, and it's step by step. You imagine or how long you've carried these thoughts, these beliefs, these wounds, and all of them. And we've literally been working together for like not even 8 weeks, probably, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just peeling. All we're doing is we're peeling the layers back every time we catch up. And then obviously, you know, if you do things outside of that, like the workshop. And so being really gentle and patient with yourself and celebrating the small wins along the way.
Yeah.
So what I feel would be really good is next, on your next session, I feel like a soul journey, we'll do a proper soul journey about your mother stuff. Now, I don't know if I've told you what a soul journey is.
No.
I think I might have mentioned I do them though.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So basically a soul journey, and this is going to really be interesting to see how far in your body you are. A soul journey is where I'm guiding you through a meditation, but you're actually guiding me, and I'm just asking you specific questions and you're unlocking the keys yourself. And so all it requires from you is for you to be out of your head and in your body and trusting where it's going to take you. So we're going to set a really clear intention around some of your mother stuff. I feel your mother stuff might be more important. And then we're going to go into your own soul, and your soul is going to give you the answer and the guidance on what it is you need to do moving forward.
Yeah.
Does that make so it's going to look different to us coaching, because you're going to be more you're going to have your eyes closed and you're just going to be listening to me talking, and your soul is going to be guiding you. So these journeys, when I do them with people, are completely different for everyone. So I don't know what's going to come up. You don't know what's going to come up. Well, your soul will know what's going to come up. Let's be honest, that's why it's called a soul journey.
Yeah.
But they're really powerful for unlocking your own wisdom, because I can't tell you what your wounds are with your mother or what healing needs to be done.
Yeah.
You look terrified.
A little bit. It's what I was like yesterday.
No, I think you'll really enjoy it, because I think it will be a good process to do a bit of, family stuff and see what comes up. Yeah. And so the reason I didn't want to do it today is because it's something that obviously it's very intentional. So when we get on your next session, we're going to maybe have a 10-minute chat, and then we're going to go straight into it. And it's about a 30-minute process. And it's a really beautiful process. Like there's nothing to be worried about. It's just you tapping deeper into your own guidance, and I'm just facilitating that and asking the questions required.
Yeah.
So with a normal meditation, if you had a facilitator taking you through a medication, they're leading you. whereas you're leading me.
Yeah.
So it's just going to require you to be in a really relaxed place in your bed. Just obviously all you need is to be able to hear my voice, and us setting a pretty and powerful intention of what it is you would like to uncover in that session, so that we can use that to then move you forward. So that's something you could even start really thinking about now, you know. Is it the relationship with your mother you'd like to heal? Is it the relationship with your father? Like, you know, that's really something that you could just start to really, you know, start mulling over a little bit now. What would you love to get answers on?
Oh.
You're like, everything.
Yeah, everything. I don't know.
Yeah, and you don't need to know right now.
Yeah.
And so this is the first step of the process of allowing yourself to drop out of your mind and into your body, and trusting your intuition and what's going to come through and what you need. And so I would never have done a soul journey with you up until now, because I don't think your mind would have allowed me, because you would be overthinking it the whole time.
Yeah, for sure.
And so this will challenge you, because it's allowing yourself to be seen as well, because your eyes will be closed. Obviously, I'm going to be, you know, guiding you, and it's really allowing yourself to be seen as well by somebody else in a vulnerable state.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, no. I don't want to be seen by anyone. I'm going to keep hiding in my house.
No.
So where are you at with all your journaling, and like, where are you at with journaling, your journaling questions? How's it feeling for you right now?
I've kind of lost a bit of interest in it, to be honest. Like, at the beginning I was like, oh yeah, like, you know, jotting along and all that sort of stuff, and now it's almost like I find it almost like a chore. Like, it's not even like, I read through the questions you sent and stuff, and I was just like, so I don't know, like, and I've done like maybe two pages this week, but it's not even like, I went back and read it and I was like, I didn't even put much effort into it. So I don't know, I've kind of like lost the drive with it a bit.
Okay, so you can't get journaling wrong, remember that.
Yeah.
The fact that you showed up for yourself is all that matters. And the only reason why I gave you the prompts is because you need to gain more trust with yourself and know that you can just journal.
Yeah.
And so the prompts are really just to spark things, but there's no right or wrong with journaling. Like, you cannot get journaling wrong. It's the commitment of showing up for yourself every day. So what I would encourage you to do, if you're not feeling like you want any more journaling prompts, because I got millions, but we can definitely I don't have to send them through, is just start writing if it feels good.
Yeah, okay.
So just using your own journal and just writing what's coming up for you.
Yeah, okay.
Just writing. There's no right, there's no wrong. It might be half a page, it might be a page, it might be 3 sentences. Just writing something every day in that journal. No right, no wrong, no judgment, nothing.
Yeah, okay.
And so the mirror work's going to be really, really powerful for you. So just starting to build that relationship with yourself every day, a couple of minutes, and then 5 minutes, and then maybe go to 10 minutes. The love language quiz, which is pretty quick and easy, I'll send you that. And that's just so we can have a chat about this as well. You can let me know what your answer was. That's just so you can understand what your love language is. So what do you need to give yourself? And then when you meet someone, obviously you get to share that with your partner, and then you get your partner to do it as well. Yeah. It's really powerful because the way that we give love is maybe different to the way we want to receive love. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you might meet someone and their love language is acts of service. So they're always doing stuff for you and you're thinking, fucking hell, this is so boring. I just want you to tell me that I'm the best.
Yeah.
Because yours is words of affirmation. So we need to uncover what ours is first and start giving it to ourselves. Like mine's words of affirmation. So mirror work is powerful, and then quality time. So I'll take myself out on little, quick dates with myself. And so that's, it's a really, really powerful exercise. I'm going to send you privately a couple of these posts that I wrote this week, just because I think, really taking the time to read them, because there's a lot of wisdom in them, just because I feel like they're going to be really helpful for what we spoke about today. And being the investigator. So every single time you're like, I'm alone, or you're craving that emotional support outside of yourself, where can you give that to yourself?
Yeah.
And so the body movement, and I would encourage you to get out of the shower and be dancing in your bedroom now and take it another step, because the shower is quite safe, right? Everyone dances in the shower, don't they?
Yeah. Okay.
And so I would encourage you to be dancing in your bedroom after a shower, literally naked.
Yeah.
What else is coming up? Anything?
No, I don't think so. I'm still sort of going through yesterday, so.
Yeah, and so breath work can do that. The good thing about Kirsten is she's in Brisbane, so you know, if you feel called, you can always do a one-on-one session. She's also she's going to be collaborating on my program, so she's doing breath work and human design next year on my program that I want to send you.
Yeah.
So I finished the page. I'm going to send that to you probably today. So take some time to read that and really read it.
Yeah.
So Kirsten's going to be doing some breath work on that program, and I don't know if she shared she's studying human design as well.
I think she talked briefly about it yesterday.
And human design is really powerful. Do you know what that is?
No. So
human design is kind of an astrology-based thing where you find out your birth date when you were born, and then you get basically a blueprint for your life. And so it's almost like someone's telling you why you do the things that you do. And it's like, oh my God, this is me. This makes so much sense.
Yeah. So
human design, it's your own blueprint. And so I'm incorporating that into my program because I want to know what design my ladies are so that I can work individually with them. It's really, really powerful. So, and you can feel into if you want to do other breath work, or not, or you're happy just, with going to other workshops and things like that. Have you planned anything else for Christmas or anything?
No. No. I think my parents are coming over now for Christmas.
Where are they from?
Albany in Western Australia.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they're coming over for Christmas because now they can. So they'll be here for 8 days, and that's pretty much all I've got planned. So.
Are you on holidays? Are you taking time off?
Yeah, I've put in for 3 weeks off, so hopefully it'll at least be 2.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, which is good because I'm just happy to chill out and have some downtime. So, But yeah, I haven't actually made any plans yet whatsoever, so which is kind of good.
You get to reset for killing it in your business next year, right?
Yeah.
So we'll do your soul journey before Christmas.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking, if you can do the 19th, because that 2 weeks today or Sunday, I've got an event on. So Saturday the 19th, which is basically perfect because it's the week before Christmas.
Yeah.
Now, can you do an earlier one? Because I've got to be somewhere that day.
How early?
So it'll be 8:30 my time.
Oh, so 10:30?
10:30 your time.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was there anything else that you wanted to add into your work for, taskings for the next few weeks? Anything you wanted to add? Anything you want to take away? Anything you want to share before we wrap it up?
No, I don't think so.
Sorry, there's someone at the window.
That's okay. No, I don't think so. If it comes up, I'll message you. But yeah, I don't at the moment. No.
So how are you feeling?
Yeah, good. Like, I'm still quite, I guess exhausted is the word from yesterday. Like, I didn't realize it would be so draining.
Yeah. So my suggestion is really take it easy with yourself the next few days.
Yeah.
Because you can still have stuff that comes up. You might even feel a bit emotional. You might feel elevated. So just honor yourself and really take it easy for the next couple of days.
Yeah. Yeah. But good. Like, I feel really good, and I'm glad I did go. So
amazing. Well done.
Yeah.
Proud of you for going. Thanks. That was good. That was a big step.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Cool. Yay to celebrating the win. All right. Well, would you like me to send you the information for this program before I send it?
Yeah.
Yep. You're open to
Yeah.
You're open to it. Okay. I just don't want to send it if you're not interested, but I just feel it's going to be really powerful for you.
Yeah.
Especially for the business stuff as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll see you soon, but let's communicate on voice note, and I look forward to your soul journey as well.
Yes, me too.
Take it easy. Look after yourself. Lots of self-care.
Will do. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.